Welcome to the 97th episode of the show Too Long Didn't Scroll. Are you ready to get your daily news fix? Coming up is a quick and easily listenable summary of important events from the previous day, April the 26th, 2023, letting you get your day started right without having to catch up on world events by scrolling through an endless seeming newsfeed. With that out of the way, let's get into this day's episode.
Russia has deployed its latest tank, the T-14 Armata, to Ukraine, state media reported. The tank represents a major departure from Russian armored vehicle designs in recent decades.
We start off this day's events in the country of Ukraine, continuing to struggle against the Russian invasion. As the armies of Russia and its allies like the private military company, the Wagner Group, descended upon Ukrainian territory for well over a year, Ukrainian forces, with help from allies in the Western world, have managed to accomplish something quite remarkable. They have held. With much of the core regions of Ukraine still remaining under Ukrainian control, many Russian offensives have slowed significantly or stalled entirely, forcing it to have to adopt new, brutal, and, some might say, desperate tactics to make their way into the country, like in the offensive against the Bakhmut region. As of this day of recording, a new such development has occurred in the form of reports that Russia's armed forces now plan to use one of Russia's newest generation main battle tanks, the T-14 Armata, in the Ukrainian combat zones in a move previously unprecedented due to claims that it will be a high-risk decision and concerns about reliability and maintenance issues. At present, it may only likely be used for propaganda services due to British intelligence reports that production of the tank remains in the low tens, with a production goal of 2,300 when the program was first announced in 2015, and an actual production of only 40 so far.
An hour-long call, Volodymyr Zelenskyy described as long and meaningful. The first known contact...
Such also comes ahead of news that Chinese President Xi Jinping has just made a call to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, one of the first direct prominent correspondences between the two in a significant while. China has been noted as attempting to act as a mediator in peace talks for the Russo-Ukrainian war, though has received criticism for its lack of position over the accusations levied against Russia for war crimes and crimes against humanity. Regardless, Zelenskyy on Twitter stated he felt their call was long and meaningful, and that representatives will soon be sent between the two countries to further discuss the development of their relations, with China having been one of Ukraine's top trading partners before the invasion.
ईरान के पावरफुल धार्मिक नेता ayatollah अब्बास अली सुलेमानी की आज एक हमले में मौत हो गई। ayatollah अब्बास अली सुलेमानी ईरान के सबसे प्रभावी व्यक्तियों में से एक थे।
In the country of Madagascar, the assassination of a prominent Iranian official has just occurred. Prominent Shia clergy member, or ayatollah, Abbas Ali-Soleimaini, was also a member of the Iranian Assembly of Experts, a council dedicated to electing Iran's supreme leader. Soleimani was visiting Madagascar on personal business and was conducting business in the bank when he was suddenly shot by a security guard at the bank, who was subsequently apprehended and arrested by police. The motive for this attack has yet to have been defined.
Now, Singapore has executed a 46-year-old man convicted of drug trafficking. Tangaraju Suppiah was found guilty of trafficking a single kilogram of cannabis 5 years ago. Campaigners had been hoping that he would be given a reprieve.
In the country of Singapore, the execution of Tangaraju Suppiah by hanging has just occurred to significant controversies. Suppiah was known as a drug dealer who had been arrested by Singaporean authorities back in 2014 for abetting an attempt to smuggle around 1 kilogram of marijuana. Having been arrested several times in the past for possession of cannabis, Suppiah was eventually sentenced to death by a Singaporean court and executed as of today's recording. Singaporean authorities, being part of a country with some of the toughest anti-drug laws in the world, have stood by the decision to sentence him to death and execute him in the wake of criticism from activists over the harsh terms and concerns that the evidence he was convicted on was weak, including from the United Nations.
The 217, the nays are 215, the bill is passed.
We now focus on the new decision made by the American House of Representatives, but this new decision will definitely not come as a surprise to some. The American national debt has now reached an estimated well over $31 trillion. With the American government having been in a fiscal deficit and owing trillions upon trillions of dollars to creditors for several decades, many have expressed concern over the health of the American economy and treasury as the debt continues to pile up. The debt ceiling, a measure to ensure that national debt does not grow out of control, has failed to do its job several times, with it having been raised 78 times since 1960. As of this day of recording, the debt ceiling has been raised again, raising the ceiling by around $1.5 trillion in exchange for restrictions on government spending, and a victory claimed by Republican House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and the Republican Party. In other news, the Competition and Markets Authority of the United Kingdom has blocked the proposed acquisition deal by Microsoft for video games company Activision Blizzard, worth around $68.7 billion or around £55 billion, citing a potential loss of competition and innovation in the video games industry. And the United Kingdom's House of Commons has passed into order a new controversial, and potentially not legal, illegal immigration bill that seeks to crack down on illegal migration to the UK through the English Channel.